Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering from 1985, Fright Night.
It's like The Boy Who Cried Wolf and Rear Window wrapped all into one.
Yeah, if you're a kid and growing up like the late night horror movies and shows like that, like Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Dark Side, I think you will enjoy this flick.
Yeah, speaking of enjoying, I hope you're enjoying the podcast, as do Matt and Zap. And if you are, please leave us a written review on Apple. On Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star rating, and we would appreciate that. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Fright Night from 1985. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review,
where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Hey, good early evening, fellas. What am I thinking here? Good early evening.
Look, it all depends on what part of the planet you're on. It might be the morning.
Yes, or afternoon.
It could be.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, hi.
Hello. Could be a Fright Night.
Ooh, scared already.
Man, speaking of which, what was that went in the... Oh...
I think he gave a little
premature.
Little premature.
He goes from edging to premature.
Yeah, get right into it.
Yeah, you should be lasting for hours. That's what Sting does. I think Sting edges himself for like months before he makes love.
He does.
Wow.
He does
sweet
it
love,
Kama Sutra style.
Yeah.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, he goes for like days. I mean, his wife and him, I think, like I'm back in like the 80s or something. She said,
right.
It's like a Sting thing. He got a book.
Wasn't there somebody in a movie that we reviewed not long ago that was hooking up with Sting and like didn't know if they were going to make it for the filming of the movie? They were in France with Sting or something like that.
I remember us talking about that.
Was it Ferris Bueller or?
I don't think he was sleeping with Ferris Bueller. No,
no. Somebody from the movie, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to
I remember us talking about that or discussing that.
Right.
That's because he goes for like days.
Yeah.
It's a Sting thing.
Hey, so before we get into today's movie, I got a mailbag item.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So in last episode, we were talking about the little prickly little balls that fall from the trees that you would throw at people, or you would pretend that they were bombs. Would you like to know?
So it's not a chestnut.
It is a chestnut.
Yes.
Is it a chestnut?
Damn it, Matt.
That's a good mailbag item.
Yeah.
You know what, that came up, and I just assumed it was a.
Those suckers hurt, man.
Yeah, I didn't know.
They hurt like hell.
I had no idea there was any kind of nut in there. I had no idea. I thought they were just some kind of pestilence that came off a tree. But thanks to Joe Calla, a.k.a. Quarters. He aptly pointed out.
Does he roast them?
No.
That's like a thing.
It is.
But how do you like peel them to roast them? Because they would prickle your hand and hurt.
Carefully.
No wonder they're so expensive.
Yeah, there's a Christmas song about that. But tonight it's all about Halloween.
Yeah, it is.
And
I remember
stuff.
Halloween.
Yeah. So we're doing Fright Night.
Selected by Matt.
This is Matt's selection.
Yeah, I love this movie. I've always liked this as a kid. Even to this day, it's probably on the top 5 date movies.
Oh,
for
wow.
Matt.
Yeah. For real?
Yeah, it's a great date movie.
Yeah, this one I did enjoy it. Fright Night 1985. And I was confused. I was thinking of Creepshow. I get those two movies confused, I guess. And Creepshow is the one that I've seen more recently. But I definitely enjoyed this. So Fright Night 1985, this was rated R. It was directed by Tom Holland, who also did Child's Play from 1988.
Yes, he did.
And written by Tom Holland, produced by Herb Jaffe. And the release date on this was August 2nd, 1985, and had a running time of 106 minutes. Budget on this was between 7 and 9.25 million, and box office 24.9 million.
Not bad.
It's a good return.
Hey, juice is worth the squeeze.
I think it was like the second highest grossing horror movie in 1985.
It was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that a fun fact? Second
was that a fun fact? Okay. Go ahead. You can fun fact that up.
I mean, it was second to Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
That's right. Freddy's Dead. Yeah, that was a good one. This had $1 million of that budget was on the special effects.
Yeah, at the time, the most money spent on special effects in a horror movie. Yeah.
I could see why. I mean, I think for the time, it was pretty impressive watching it now. I enjoyed the special effects in this.
Yeah, real quick on the special effects while we're on that, I was going to save that for later. But Steve Johnson was the man that did the special effects for this movie. He also did Ghostbusters, American Werewolf in London, which you see a lot of
that one too. Yeah,
a lot of that stuff. But yeah, this dude apparently is like top of the line. Like that, the special effects in this movie I thought were above and beyond.
I liked them. I was like impressed. I like that style and
Yes,
stuff. But
like the old school yet new school, gory yet not gory.
yeah, so this was filmed in Los Angeles, Culver City, on a lot of backlot stuff.
We got fun facts on that then.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll save that for the end, where some other stuff that was filmed there. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for, budget, location, all that good stuff. So I'll turn it over to Zap for the cast.
Sure. We've got Chris Sarandon as Jerry Dandridge, William Ragsdale as Charlie Brewster, Amanda Bierce as Amy Peterson, Stephen Jeffries as Edward Evil Ed Thompson, Jonathan Stark as Billy Cole, Dorothy Fielding as Judy Brewster, Art Evans as Detective Lennox, and the always famous Roddy McDowell as Peter Vincent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know where Roddy McDowell was from? Anyone, I'm sure.
England.
But
What movies was he famous for?
well, I heard Planet of the Apes, but was
Yes,
he in that?
he was in like every
He was,
one.
but he was in every single one of them.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
the old school ones. However, I remember him most and more fondly from Overboard. Goldie Hawn.
Was he the
Oh,
butler?
yeah,
Was he the
Kurt
butler?
Russell.
He was the butler.
Yes.
Andrew.
Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell,
Yep.
Goldie Hawn. Yeah,
Our
yeah.
buddy Kurt.
My favorite movie where Kurt Russell on a boat is Captain Ron.
Oh, one of my favorites
That's a
too.
classic. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, so I guess that's it for the cast, right?
Yep.
So we'll turn it over to Matt for a brief synopsis.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Here's the brief synopsis of Fright Night. Teenage Charlie Brewster, William Ragsdale, is a horror film junkie, so it's no surprise that when a reclusive new neighbor named Jerry Dandridge, Chris Sarandon, moves next door, Brewster becomes convinced he is a vampire. It's also no surprise when nobody believes him. However, after strange events begin to occur, Charlie has no choice but to turn the only person who could possibly help washed-up television vampire killer Peter Vincent, Roddy McDowell. This is Fright Night.
Nice.
Yeah. Sounds like an exciting movie.
Good movie.
It is good. I slept on this one.
This is a sleeper. Like this is something people need to watch.
I can see how that could happen.
Yeah, like I said, I totally confused this with another movie. I really think that I haven't seen this probably since back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
Oh,
was
I can
cool to
promise
watch.
you I haven't seen this since back then.
Did you see it back in the day though?
I did. It was
Okay.
by chance. I was, hanging out with friends, sleeping over someplace, and we watched it just by chance. And I'm sure I haven't seen it since.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Like, do you guys remember growing up? At the time we were in like the late 80s, mid 80s into the 90s, they had like the TV shows that were based around like the same thing this was on. And that was like Tales from the Crypt. If you guys remember
Yes,
that.
I love Tales
with
from
the Crypt Creeper. And like he would come on and make those like ridiculous puns.
Sure.
And then he had that like horrible laugh. I can't do that if we would have like a thing of
The
that.
Crypt Keeper, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also Tales from the Dark Side, which was like that was like had like the creepy music, and that guy in the beginning, like he had that baritone voice.
What was the one that was on like network TV?
Do you remember that?
I definitely remember Tales from the Dark Side.
Yes.
I remember, like, it started out, it would show you this like farm landscape, and then it would black out into black and gray or black and white, but there was a black and gray little silhouette of it with red letters, Tales from the Dark
Yes.
Side.
And the guy would go from the dark side.
Yeah.
or something
Remember
like that.
the one on network TV was Amazing Stories.
So that was a Steven Spielberg, John.
Yep.
Loved that show.
That wasn't scary stuff though.
No.
right?
That was in the mid 80s too, I believe.
Yep.
Right.
And then there were like the spin-off ones. Like remember Freddy Krueger had his own like little show, Freddy's Nightmares.
Yep. And there was a Friday the 13th show. There was a ton of that.
Yep.
This had me thinking this would be like a great movie, like let's say like 86, 87. We were all getting together to watch this, and I put together a little snack list. And if you guys have anything you want to add to this, we'll do this real quick.
Sure.
But I think it's be exciting. So how about some Tato skins? Remember those?
So potato skins got baked potato appeal.
Are they made with potatoes and skins
That are real?
Yeah.
Like it.
Squeeze-Its. Remember those? They were like little, they came in like a
Can you
six-pack.
show us how you use those?
They were like little juice things that you would squeeze up. They had like cherry flavor and all that. If I show you the packaging, you'll remember. Squeeze-Its.
All right,
Squeeze-Its.
I don't think we bought those.
Micro Magic French fries. Remember Micro Magic?
Micro Magic was
Where they
fantastic.
had to like you peel the thing back.
Yeah, and it would. Yeah, they had all kind of hamburgers, French fries,
Yeah.
and it was microwave.
They had milkshakes too.
Yes, yes, they did.
That's
You're
right.
That's insane.
right. How about some? Let's see what else we have here. Well, tea cooler was a big one. We love
Delicious.
that. And then maybe if it was morning time, some Smurf Berry Crunch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember Berry Berry Kicks? I haven't seen them.
I remember
in years.
Berry Berry Kicks. I know we were back and forth on this just the other day. 'Tis the season. I bought a box of Count Chocula.
There it is. Yeah.
It's
Nice.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Smurfberry.
Yeah. Smurfberry Crunch. Yeah.
The one that I would recall is it was also in the movie at the end part. There was a little struggle, and he knocked over a big can of Charles chips.
Yep.
Charlie's chips. Yeah.
Yes.
Charles chips.
Those
yeah.
were the Charles chips.
I think they would get delivered to your house.
So that's correct. And that, thank you. That's exactly where I was going. They used to deliver those to the house. Like the mailman, the milkman, there was a Charles chips dude.
That's
Man, that was
awesome.
like the giant shit before it was like big.
Yeah.
People would like get some Charles chips to the door.
Old
Dirty basement.
Old, yeah, right.
Bill Roofy Cosby was a huge fan of Charles chips.
Are they regional then, like PA?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay.
One for you. Here you go.
What flavor is that? I feel drowsy. But yeah, I just thought that'd be cool. I could see us sitting around eating some of that stuff, getting ready to watch this movie. So we were also talking about the Noid from Domino's.
Yes,
Forgot about
absolutely.
that one. Order some Domino's and avoid the noise.
Was that you that sent the video game?
Yeah.
With the
A
pizzas and wasn't that like on a bike or something too?
1990 classic.
1990.
Yo
Wow.
Noid. Available
NES.
on the NES.
13.
NES.
Yeah.
13, going on 14. Wow.
That's cool. Well, I guess we shouldn't sidetrack them anymore. We'll get into this movie, I guess.
Yeah. Let's get into this and get out of it.
All right.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the worst. It's definitely not the worst.
Certainly not the best.
I mean, it's whatever it is. Well,
It is. The movie is what it is. It's a cheesy horror classic.
Yeah.
I would consider it. The cheesiness, though, is what makes it, I think a classic.
Beloved, yeah.
Sure.
Available.
And the special effects, which were amazing.
amazing. Tremendous.
Stupendous.
All right. So, women around town have been found beheaded, and spending too much time spying on his new neighbor has proven to be a detrimental pastime for Charlie Brewster. An avid fan of horror movies, Charlie finds his television fantasies becoming reality when, after a series of odd goings-on next door and around town, he discovers that his new neighbor, Jerry Dandridge, is a vampire. With his own life now at risk, with no help from the police, and with his friend, Evil Eddie, and his girlfriend, Amy Peterson, worried for his sanity, there's only one person who can help Charlie, and that's Peter Vincent, famed vampire hunter from Charlie's favorite television show, Fright Night.
That's a good show.
So much happens here.
I like the very beginning of this, the way it was shot coming into the neighborhood. It was like,
That was shot in one scene.
yeah, it was one continuous shot with the fog and just the way the houses were. It was like, it almost looked black and white, but it wasn't. I mean, it was so dark out. I love that. And then the camera pans up into the bedroom.
That reminded me, that cinematography reminded me of Evil Dead.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
Very close.
Scrolling through
Very
the slopes
close.
and shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what I liked about this too is the way that they portray, what's his name? Dandridge, right? Yep. Jerry Dandridge.
Yeah.
Let's call him Dandridge. But like he is the classic type vampire that you would think, like the guy has like excellent choice in the ladies.
Yeah, he's
Right.
smooth.
Like smooth operator.
He's debonair. He's
Pimp
got
mode is
gray
vicious.
hair. Yeah. He's wearing a scarf like an ascot, but it's
like
long.
he got the style from like 200 years of like getting my own style, like that gray coat. But anyway, like he's into the ladies. Like you've seen him. He's bringing like top end prostitutes to the house.
Hell yeah.
Right.
And that's what my man, he's checking it out. He's like, wait a second. And then does that go to where like the window scene where he's about to make the sweet, sweet love?
Right.
And then
Like
all of a sudden,
sidetrack.
and then he sees the fangs come out.
Sees the fang card. And that's after that's after Jerry had killed the first one, the blonde chick.
Yep.
Right.
And so the kids were at school the next day, and Charlie's just glued to the telly, and he sees the image of this blonde woman that he had just seen the day before. That night, he hears a scream, lights go out. Next morning, she's on the telly. They found her with her head chopped off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
she
was a
was
cool opening scene. Definitely. What did this remind you of right off the bat?
A movie I hadn't seen in 30 years.
No, but a movie that we have done on here. I thought for sure. I mean, I'm sure maybe you even have it in the fun facts.
What,
but,
the Burbs?
Well, that too.
That
But
part?
there's another movie that
Nightmare on Elm Street?
no, like one that you picked with the binoculars and looking.
Oh, Rear Window.
Rear Window.
Of course.
Did
Thank
you
you for
pick
that.
up? Did you pick up like right away? Did you start thinking that, or just with?
Yeah. So at the beginning, for sure. And even, well, hell, not much at the end, but yeah, in the beginning, because this dude's he's got voyeurism all over him.
Right.
Like, he just can't stop looking at his neighbors and shit with binoculars, for Christ's sake.
But when he checked out the binoculars, that's when he saw the boobies, right? so he was just like glued in.
Right.
He's like, dang.
He's like, Jerry's getting it on.
But then he kicked his girlfriend out. Like, she was like, I'm ready for you. He's like, what's going on here? I see a coffin.
Yeah.
He got all.
So wait, now that's two. Now wait, so that's, don't go confusing the two. It's not like, so what you had just said, you had alluded to the listener that Charlie was busy looking at some other chick across the way.
No, that was later. Yeah.
While Amy was ready to give it away. But no, in fact, he had seen the coffin coming into town.
That's right. Oh, yeah, you're right.
The coffin got him all excited. He was like, what?
Whereas Amy was, I would imagine, had already gotten him excited, but he had the low T since she wasn't,
And then Amy's all like, I don't believe you.
and next thing you know, she changed her mind.
Well, you can tell the guy's passionate about his like horror and all that, the old movies. So
well, yeah, he's a huge horror buff. That's he's like,
yeah, weighing it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have said screw the coffin, but what do I know?
Yeah, for sure.
But he was actually going to screw the coffin. I think
right.
He was checking it out. He was so excited.
So Jerry knows. Again, all this voyeurism. Jerry looked over as Charlie's there eyeballing the naked chick in front of the vampire, and he looks at him. So they lock eyes.
Right.
It's done. He's caught.
He's caught.
He got him. Yep.
That's got to be scary as shit. I'm thinking,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I know that. Well, he took the police over there. The police laughed him away. They were, there's a coffin in the basement. Puh, that's preposterous. Oh, we're not going to go in the basement. Forget checking in the basement.
And that's where he had his lackey that would hang out in the daytime.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Billy Cole. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of creature Billy Cole is.
See, I was confused too during the movie, and I'm sure we'll get into like the different creatures because like when you're bitten,
you turn into
See that? Yeah, we'll get into that. I don't want to jump too far ahead.
I know where you're at, though. I know where your head's at because there was the one turned into one. One did another.
Yeah, one did one and one does another.
I don't get one's teeth are real jacked up. The other one looks like a smooth operator.
Right.
I don't get.
The other one's human. The other one's half decent until she get angry. Like I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
That's a wicked bite.
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie and company pay a visit to Jerry's house, where Jerry and his faithful servant Billy Cole await their scheduled arrival. A test with holy water, which isn't really holy water, appears to allay all fears until Peter's mirror proves otherwise. The cards begin to fall. Jerry bites and converts Eddie into a vampire, then hunts and finds Charlie and Amy, who finds herself drawn to Jerry's manly magnetism. With his friends now in Jerry the vampire's clutches, Charlie and Peter are the only ones left to stop him.
The plot thickens.
I don't know if we really talked about him yet, but Peter Vincent, who was played by Roddy McDowell, he's on the television in the very opening scene, and we find out he's like a basically equivalent to like a Vincent Price character, or
he's just a host, but he's a star in the show,
right?
But he's just a Hollywood hack. He doesn't know shit about anything about these damn vampires. He just knows what the script tells him to say.
And I was thinking about people that are kind of like that, like those late night people. Like there's Joe Bob Briggs, right? Did you ever see him? Like Joe Bob Briggs does like the Sven Gully's another guy.
Oh, Sven Gully, I see him. He's on late at night.
Well, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, she would do those movies, and then in between. And what was the one USA Up All Night? There was somebody on there.
Gilbert Gottfried?
No, it was a chick. It was a blonde chick.
Yeah, that she would be on there.
USA Up All Night.
Yeah. Oh, what was her name? USA.
Sex Pants.
Something like that. I used to love watching those shows, and like
Rhonda?
Rhonda, maybe?
It might have been Rhonda.
Rhonda what?
Not Rhonda Lay.
Not Chicken Rhonda Lay.
Ronda Rousey.
No, it wasn't Ronda Rousey. I know what you're talking about now. See, that's man. See, I'm not gonna finger box this up. So leave that to the mailbag. Maybe I know there's a huge fan out there right now.
There's gotta be
that wants to.
Somebody's
like
edging
yelling
right
at us, like, "Oh, freaking Rhonda."
It's just all those shows that would be on like late at night when you get home and you just you put on in the movies. It's always those B horror movies and stuff.
That's where they had the commercials. She's like, "Are you home alone?"
Yeah, that's when those 1-900.
Yeah,
I can promise you. I can promise you right now. There's probably I would put it at a 75% chance that Hawk is driving right now and he's banging on his dashboard saying, "You assholes! Her name is
Rhonda."
He knows it then. Yeah, I forget, but I know I can picture her as soon as you said blonde hair.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what this guy is. He kind of hosts these movies, and they play. And actually, he was in some of the movies too.
Correct.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is the one I starred in. Or he would use the movie that he was in to be like, oh, I used this as a prop in so-and-so.
Right.
The
And
devil made me do it.
It seemed like those old Hammer movies, the old back in the day movies like Peter Cushing and those other guys that were, and Vincent Price was part of all that stuff back in the day.
Well, that was in like what, the 40s and 50s at Vincent, or 50s, I guess.
Yeah, probably
Vincent
like
Price.
40s, 50s, I would think. Before our time, for sure. I'm just aware of them. I'd probably seen bits and pieces.
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock Presents too. Back in the 50s was a huge.
I forgot about him.
Yeah,
huge.
How could we forget about Alfred
I know,
Hitchcock?
like the original, man.
Yeah, the OG.
Sorry about that.
The original Peronis.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awful. I can't believe we did that. Oh man, so there's a scene that we've now seen by now again. So Jerry he's converted Evil Eddie. He's chasing after Charlie and not the chocolate factory, but Amy, and he gets them in the club. So
Yeah, you can find them in the club.
they were in the club. So those bouncers, like,
Yeah, they
so for a movie that spends so much money on special effects, yeah, that was kind of poor. I'm saying the one where, so not the first one that he slashed at and took out part of his neck,
Yeah.
but the second one where it looked like just a shitty old Western comedy scene where he's just sliding on his back on the floor because he just got his ass kicked.
But see, that's the whole thing. That was the part of like the cheesiness in this movie. Like there were even scenes and stuff where like, you know, he gets him with the cross like one way, and then you see him like the way the makeup's done is on the other one.
Right.
When she smashed like that sandwich, I don't know if it was like a burger or
It looked like pulled pork,
whatever it was. Like then there's like a piece of tomato on his face, then it's off in the next scene, then it's back on in the next.
Yeah,
Remind me about the cross you were talking about. I have a question about that.
sure.
Why it worked one time and not another time. I don't know if you caught that too.
I can tell you now
Okay, tell me that.
because you have to have faith.
Well, I get that.
George Michael said it first.
And I get that, but Roddy McDowell's character, they were saying didn't have faith, but it worked on the
first guy,
the first vampire.
So he had this time around, he would have had more of the faith. He would have gave him faith.
No, when he was in the apartment and Evil Eddie came in,
Yeah,
he used the cross and burned his skin.
because he had faith by that time.
But
No, that was
earlier in the movie.
before.
That was earlier in the movie.
So when he got the
Oh shit! When they finally get to the showdown,
when he got the Dandridge, he would have had
hoedown with the
super
hoedown.
extra.
Ah.
Does it have something to do, you think, with the strength of the
I
vampire?
think so,
Maybe
yeah.
how
Or Fright Night 2.
It has to be Electric
something.
Boogaloo.
yeah, Fright Night 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's
a
what we
good
said.
one, yeah.
Fright Night. I thought it was that. I thought it was that really good soundtrack with House of Pain.
Yeah, that was Judgment Night.
Fright Night.
Dude, that was a good movie.
That was a great movie.
I enjoyed that.
boom.
I
We should review that.
I saw that in the
Ooh.
theaters.
Did you
I
really?
did too. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I saw it too at the theater.
I
yeah.
definitely remember seeing that.
It's like
in
I
the
built
Amelia-
the house. I felt the pain.
Emilio Estevez. It was like rap groups and rock groups.
Ice T was in that. Emilio Estevez. Yeah, and they had the the gold or something they were looking for, or there was some sort of money in that old
I
building.
just remember there was like an RV there.
Yeah, they made the wrong turn.
They made the wrong turn.
Yeah,
That's another movie.
So I guess at this point, so what's his name? Charlie's all out of options here. Like his girlfriend got taken away. Eddie's a vampire. Like he's all alone. So all he's got is the possibility of Peter to help him. And Peter again is like, dude, I'm just an actor. I'm a washed up actor. I live in an apartment. Like I got no money. I got no car. I got no woman. There I am. I'm nothing.
I didn't understand like what they paid him at his job because they did show his apartment. The
Yeah.
guy's
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah, you talking about the
he had nothing.
They paid him in props.
Something like that.
Movie
He
props.
had movie props. He did
Yeah.
have a Planet of the Apes
Thing
prop. I
in
don't know.
his apartment.
Yes.
I did see that. He also
I
had
didn't catch that.
again, for a movie that spent so much money, allegedly spent so much money on special effects, Roddy McDowell's hair in this was so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
See, I think that was
so
part of the cheesiness.
bad.
Yeah, that
I mean,
great.
that gray
Was it a
wig.
wig?
Oh my
Yeah,
God, yeah.
yeah.
But it looked like a wig that was made out of yarn. Not the yarn that Eddie was wearing later, the Raggedy Ann wig.
right.
But this just looked like really
yeah, when he's in
bad
bed.
shit hair.
Zap said, Roddy, check your wig.
Dang, I know, man. Man, it ain't nothing but ultra perm. All right. So Charlie and Peter are ready to do battle with the forces of evil. And the fight is on as they confront Jerry and his forces in Jerry's own house. The chips seem down. Eddie makes an attempt on Peter's life after having transfigured into a wolf. And poor Charlie is knocked out and locked up with Amy, who is slowly transforming into a vampire. But fear not for the protagonist pair. good will always win over evil. After defeating Billy the bodyguard, and after a tense battle with Jerry, the morning light of the sun proves to be the winning edge they needed, as it spells Jerry's ultimate demise. Now, days later, all appears to be right in the world for Peter, Charlie, and Amy, until a new neighbor moves in next door.
Uh-oh.
And so concludes Fright Night.
Yeah.
That was quick.
I mean, so it's a simple movie.
It is. It's very simple.
But there's some cool, look, Matt, there is some cool shit that goes on in this movie. Like, especially in like this last 1/3, which was really like the last 20 minutes that I just covered
30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, the stuff in the basement where they're going at it. It was great.
But going back to like Evil Ed's part, where there was the werewolf that came into the room, that was unexpected. Like, if you're not watching this movie, you're wondering, like, where's this werewolf coming from? Because he was bit.
That's wolfing, man.
By a vampire.
Yep.
So how did he turn into a wolf?
Why didn't he turn into a bat like Jerry, the vampire bat?
Yeah.
Jerry the fruit bat.
Fruit bat. Yeah.
Fruit
that's why
bat.
he's always
eating the apples.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get that scene either with the wolf, but I definitely dug those special effects.
That's what I was getting into. Like the transformation and stuff. It was very Werewolf of London. Very but that's a lot of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
And then he had like those little hands that freaked me out still. The little wolf hands.
Yeah.
That was like
that kid's voice. As soon as I started watching it, like, and he got on screen and stuff, then I remembered his part and him. That's the part that I remember the most from this movie is that kid,
Eddie,
Evil Ed. Yeah. He was just like, like I said, I probably haven't seen this movie since way back.
What else was he in? I didn't get a chance.
Range.
At Close Range. He was one of the group,
friends.
Which we covered.
Yes.
Yeah. What else did I want to say about that part?
You're talking about the wolf getting stabbed with a broken table leg?
Yeah, it was
table leg.
Is that what it was? A table leg?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was part of a banister or something upstairs, like on the second floor.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the leg of the table that he fell on. So as Wolf and Eddie is coming at him upstairs, he's backing up, and he just falls into this table, breaks the table, this little end table, corner table, whatever table.
Right.
And he ends up grabbing that leg and jamming it into the Wolf time Eddie when Eddie attacks him.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there was his bodyguard. What the hell is that guy's name?
Billy.
Billy.
Oh,
no.
Billy. Yeah, Billy Cole.
Billy Cole. So Billy Cole, when he was bitten, he wasn't, they were like, he's not a vampire because he was out during the daytime.
Correct.
But apparently he became some sort of zombie.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense.
It's just never explained because people know what vampires are, right? At least there has been enough lore around vampires to know that they don't go out in the daytime. They don't like garlic. They don't like holy water. They don't like crosses. Cool. And they don't like stakes in the heart.
Right. Not good.
But this guy was just some random Billy the Blob for all I know, because once they got him in the heart with a stake, sure, it killed him, but he ended up melting, turning into just gel, just ectoplasm and sand.
The ectoplasm.
Sand.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned ectoplasm because there was somebody that worked on Ghostbusters. I think it was maybe Ghostbusters 2, or maybe it was Ghostbusters.
No, it was Ghostbusters.
1.
That's the guy that we were talking about.
Yeah, and they reused one of the props that I think it was in the library scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in the library when the librarian is downstairs and the ghost comes at it, like she's there and there's somebody looking at a book and they turn at the librarian, they say, shh, or whatever.
Right.
This mad, if it wasn't the librarian, it was Ray. The thing turns into this mad thing. It looks like a nice woman or whatever, but then the teeth become all out and it's all wolfy and shitty and scary and demonic.
I've been slimed.
That's the look of basically Amy's face.
Right.
In this. I don't know about Jerry's. I gotta believe his makeup was could have been better.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say Evil Eddie had better makeup than Jerry.
Yeah, Evil Eddie
and Amy's were kind of the same. They kind of had the same facial structure.
Yeah,
so I don't know if she was going to be a werewolf too.
So I was thinking about that since you say that. Like, if Jerry's a bat, Eddie's a werewolf, what's she going to turn into?
Frankenstein or something.
I know. This is like...
He has very powerful bites. I don't know. Because, she was digging the bite. I don't even know if they had the lovemaking, but she was loving the bite.
So he had to have some kind of hypnotic... that's
what any vampire does. They can always hypnotize the opposite sex.
But this is like the movie of Harry Potter, Patronuses. Like, they all turn into different animals.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right. They're spirit animals. But anyways, yes.
Levios, Patronus.
Yeah. So the magnetism of Jerry on this chick, who coincidentally happens to look like his old girlfriend.
I was going to say
from like the 1800s.
It's always a theme. There's always an old painting, and somebody looks just like the person. Well, that was in Ghostbusters. There was a guy on the painting in
Ghostbusters 2.
Maybe Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, you're talking about he's Vigo.
Yeah.
Vigo
He's
the
on
Carpathian.
Yes, and
that's a Tom Holland type thing.
Right.
But I guess what he was saying, he wanted the vampire to be like that he did have like a love before, that he was an actual person. He didn't want him to be like completely 100% evil. So he was like, hey, let's give him like a love interest.
Yeah.
But he put the Mac on her quick.
He did.
Big time, yeah.
He did. And she said, hell yeah.
Yeah, Marcy Darcy. She wanted it.
Right. It's Marcy Darcy, which is her second name.
Yeah.
Her first name was, when she was married to Steve, was a different, obviously. And then she...
Jefferson. What was his?
Jefferson.
Or no, Steve. Yes, Jefferson was the second guy.
Correct.
Yeah, Jefferson was the cool guy from Happy Days.
From Revenge of the Nerds also.
Yes, yeah.
So it was, his last name was Darcy. So she became Marcy Darcy.
What was Steve's last name from Married with Children? I can't remember.
I don't even know.
Steve was the
he just
remember the one they both got in a fight in the episode. He came back.
He kind of reminded me of Steve Carell a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Steve.
So
that was a great show.
We saw Marcy's nips in this, didn't we?
Through the shirt.
Through the white.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it.
Pretty much.
She didn't like that part where she had to take her top off.
Yeah.
In the one like fake love making scene.
Yeah.
They said that she put duct tape.
The cover.
Oh yeah, to cover her breasts.
Yeah, I heard that too.
She felt uncomfortable. I didn't know her age in this. That's something I was going to look
27.
up. 27. Oh, she was old.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, and Ragsdale was 24.
Okay.
So,
wow.
But that's the norm for these high school. You know what
people
I mean?
looking in movies.
It's like 90210, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How old was Sarandon in this?
I didn't look him up, but I just happened to see that in the fun facts.
Oh man, what a
very
great
nice.
segue! I like what you did there. I like your style. I like your moves.
Yeah, that was a good one. I
figured we
was
were already
thrown off there.
foreplaying it a little bit.
Ooh,
So,
that was too good.
but yeah, those two I happened to see in the fun facts, but I didn't see ages for any. But I would imagine. Let me ask you about that. Now you mentioned Chris Sarandon right off the bat.
I'll let you.
He'll let me. Thank you. Who did he remind you of? A current actor. I thought, oh my God, my son even said, Ethan was watching it with me. He was like, that looks like this person. Did you guys, before I say it?
Oh, Lou Ferrigno.
Close. the later version.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He played the same character, but in a later.
Rambo.
No, you're saying the guy that plays the Hulk in the Marvel movies?
Yes.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that's Mark Ruffalo.
That's
Mark
Ruffalo.
Yeah, Ruffalo.
Did you not see, like,
yeah.
I don't see that at all.
Really?
I did see a little
I
of
think
that.
it's only because I've known
Chris Sarandon.
Mark
for
Ruffalo.
so long. Like I knew him as Prince Humperdinck
from Princess
Bride.
That was pretty much his biggest one.
Yeah.
Nothing really else.
from this and from Prince Humperdinck. So I just known that for so long, as well as
Humperdinck.
I didn't know that he was the voice of Jack.
Skellington, yeah.
It's just I never pieced those two together.
I actually thought, and I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I assumed that the voice of Jack Skellington was Danny Elfman from
Only the
Boingo
singing
Boingo.
voice.
But
I thought it was Tommy Depp.
That's right.
Or Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Morrison, the boxer. Yeah, but I didn't know that either, that he was the voice. But yeah, I thought he looked like Mark Ruffalo. And I was thinking that, and then my son said it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad But
Great minds think alike.
yeah, either that or we're both stupid.
No. What? Easy.
I'm just kidding. No, but I thought so.
It is in the eye of the beholder.
That's right.
So fun fact, Peter Vincent's name derives from two horror icons,
Yes,
Peter Cushing and Vincent Price.
correct.
Yeah, his character was pretty much Vincent Price.
Yeah, for sure.
But then he wasn't as cool as Vincent Price. He didn't have that voice.
Nope. Or that laugh.
Yeah.
As featured in Thriller.
And we went over the fruit bat DNA. That's why I was always eating the fruits.
Mm-hmm.
I found one. Roddy McDowall based his character on the lion from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was trying to act like
Interesting.
Yeah, he looked at like bad acting or how like somebody always scared all the time or always like timid would be. So he watched The Wizard of Oz and based it on the lion.
Here's one that I know Zap will like. I don't know if you had one of these, Matt. I can't remember. We talked about these before, but 1988, they took this movie and adapted it into a video game for the Commodore.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but this says Commodore Amiga computer. I don't know if that's it's an older or later model.
That was after the Commodore 64. It had better graphics. It's like, you had a Atari 2600, then you had the Atari like 7800.
Then you had the Jaguar.
Think of that.
So nobody was stepping up to the Amiga.
So the Amiga was higher end than the 64.
Is it
Gotcha.
Amiga?
With a G.
Amiga. Okay.
Amiga. Yeah. So in this game, you were Jerry Dandridge, and that's who you played, and you had 12 hours of darkness. You had to visit every room of a mansion and kill intruders. All the characters from the movie were in it, even the hooker, Cheryl Lane, the little bit part. There was a glaring exception, though, and that was Detective Lennox and Jerry's henchman, Billy Cole. They weren't in the game for whatever reason.
I wonder why. Billy Cole didn't sign.
Writer's strike.
Yeah, that was contractual.
Could have been the writer's strike.
Could have been that.
Tom Holland, he used a supernatural disbelief. That's when a character sees something and no one believes them. So he's saying, I see a vampire, I see a vampire. He used the same thing in Child's Play and Cloak and Dagger, if you guys remember that.
Yeah, this is all really centered around a grander theme of the boy who cried wolf.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Classic theme. Clearly worked for Fright Night.
Absolutely.
I remember my oldest daughter, she listens or whatever, she'll laugh at this. But she would always like cry wolf about stuff, not like horribly or anything like that.
Right.
But so she had this little like storybook and it had like the boy who cried wolf. And I like put like the girl on it. Like I
put her picture in there.
I didn't put her picture on it or anything. But she was looking through it when she was older one. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, stop it. She got
That's
upset.
funny.
But yeah, the girl
cried wolf.
But it looked like it was on the story. Like
I got it.
Wrote it in there.
That's
It was good. It was
I'm
good.
still soaking it in.
Just let it splash.
Let it splash
over you.
So this is actually, I did not know this, the original ending of the movie. So it was supposed to end with Charlie, same way, Charlie and Amy are making it on the couch as Peter Vincent's show is playing in the background. Now, Peter was supposed to have been heard saying, so tonight's creepy caller is, Dracula Strikes Again, which was obviously about vampires. Then he says, you know what vampires look like, don't you? They look like this. And then Peter, transforms into a vampire on live television.
Oh shit!
As Charlie and Amy look on in horror.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Peter Vincent,
the vampire hunter, became the prey.
That's funny.
PV.
So that
isn't that like a thing the teenagers get these days?
what's it called? PD.
PV.
PV.
No, that's a make of guitar and amplifier.
PEAVEY.
PV vaccine.
Yeah, the PV vaccine. You heard about that?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
What's PV?
I think it's HPV.
HPV.
Oh. Is that the oral sex one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like, they have commercials and stuff for it.
Yeah.
It's going
They're like,
around.
yeah, gotta watch that.
So the hooker in that movie, the hot one in the beginning.
Can you say like, is there another word we could use? Like hook?
The streetwalker,
That's still
the prostitute,
How about sex whore?
no.
Sex
Looking
whore.
for something.
a prostitute,
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur,
Like an entrepreneur.
yeah.
What
There
the
you go.
fuck? Yeah. Hooker.
An entrepreneur.
entrepreneur. Right?
Let's go with hooker.
So that was Heidi Sorensen. She was Playmate of the Month in July of '81.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, 81. So she's like 107 right now.
She had HPV by the time this movie came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
This
she
is
was
what-
already PV'd up.
4 years later.
Dang.
She was probably like 23 by then. So I got do you guys have any other?
What? Any
facts?
other fun facts?
I got two that are off the books, kind of. But
Where they filmed it, I think we already said that was from the Burbs.
oh,
That was the same back lot.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
We did say that.
Did you catch where there was a little scene in there where they showed an address in a
The
town?
like 13895 something like that.
No, like
That one.
on Peter Vincent had like a postcard, or it was an eviction notice.
Oh.
So in that, they don't really tell you where they're at, but on that address on that was for Corvallis, Iowa. So this movie was supposed to take place in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
So I just thought that was cool because a lot of times with these movies, you don't know. You just assume it's-
Iowa backlot in California.
Yeah.
But they say the scene that they tried to model this after, that backlot that they used in the Burbs, was from Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, for real?
That's from and I think that was in 1956. I think I've written that.
Okay.
But that's what they kind of based that look on.
Well, also used in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Wisteria Lane.
Wisteria.
Mysteria.
It's funny how those movies, they just repurpose everything.
Sure.
It makes sense though.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why they have so much money, because they just
keep reusing.
Like, hey, put a different sign on that door. We're going to use this backlot.
Putting it out.
How big are those backlots, though? I would like to go to like those Hollywood tours where you could see where they do it. Like, are they in those? Is it covered? Or are they out in the open? Like,
it's probably like Disney World. You know, you drive through Disney World, and it's like you feel like you're in, and then you go, when you leave, you can see the backs of it. It's all fake.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing about Universal. It the same shit at both places.
Yeah.
It's amazing what the eye believes and how they can suspend that disbelief and just make it seem like it's
huge.
It's huge. In reality, it's not.
That's like, Universal when I was in the Simpsons land.
Love that.
Yes, it's very cool.
Yeah, that one was cool
like,
too.
Go to Moe's. You're like at Moe's. You're like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Get a beer there.
Yeah.
What's a Duff beer?
Duff beer.
That's right. Duff man.
Yeah.
I'm all fun fact out.
I got two that are kind of like little cool things, I thought.
All right, but those are probably better than mine, so I'll do my last one.
Go ahead.
It's just something for you guys. When Miss Brewster invites Dandridge over for a drink, do you know what he was drinking?
Milk?
No.
Lemonade?
No.
A beer. I don't know.
No, she made him a drink. It was a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. How about that? How appropriate.
Just a fun. I thought that was fun. That really fun facted me out.
Yeah, right. That's fun as hell.
Our boy Charlie Brewster there, played by William Ragsdale, auditioned for Mask. He was going to play Rocky Dennis.
I did read that.
But he was too handsome.
Nah, they gave it to Eric Stoltz, who was a great actor. So he got that.
And also handsome.
Yes. Yeah, Charlie Sheen was supposed to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy next door, but they were like, "You're way too handsome."
Yep. He was going to play a vampire.
No.
He
was going to play the. Okay, I gotcha.
He auditioned for Charlie and the dude Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dianetics.
This guy, he said, "Dude, no, you look like a hero. I'm looking for a boy next door."
Yeah. Right, just like average looking dude.
Yeah.
And then the other guy there, Evil Ed. He showed up at the Weird Science casting.
Yep.
And they had the same agent, Anthony Michael Hall, and him, and she had sent him to the wrong.
They were like, "Who's this dude?"
Yeah, that's right. So the lady, the casting lady, was like, well, "You're not Anthony Michael Hall. What are you doing here?" And Evil Eddie said, "Oh well, fuck it. Since I have your time," and he sat down and had a conversation with her for like a half hour. She remembered him. Mm-hmm. He made a good impression. He obviously didn't get the weird science part, but he made a good enough impression that when they did this, she said, "Come on back and we'll throw you in as the weird next door neighbor kid."
That's cool. Yeah.
He has a look for that though. I mean, you wouldn't cast him as a hero or a...
No, he's a creepy looking dude.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
What did they say how he got the evil? Is it just because he liked horror movies or horror flicks?
They never really elaborated on that, why he was called Evil Ed. He was probably just way into like scary stuff.
But he's like, "Don't call me evil."
He was a weird dude.
Yeah, I was like, where did that come from? Like, I didn't get it. But
I do remember his dinner is in the oven.
What was that?
That was in this. So he goes when Peter runs away from the house in the end sequence, right? So Jerry just knocked what's his name out. Oh no, I'm sorry, Billy. Billy, the servant Billy knocked what's his name out, and Peter runs out of the house. He runs next door to Charlie's house to get
the mom,
see if she's okay and get her out of there. And he finds that the phone line's been cut and all of that shit. Well, Evil Eddie is over there just waiting for somebody to come there. That's where Evil Eddie is wearing the shitty Raggedy Ann wig. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he said, turns out that she's been working nights, but she left a note. And she reads a note, and he reads a note, and his dinner is in the oven.
That's right. That's right. I forgot
and he
about
gives that horrible laugh. Like,
it was pretty terrible.
That is.
Good and terrible.
I forgot to. I have a couple other quick things real quick. Actually, Matt brought this up when he came over, and of course I caught it. So Jerry Dandridge had a nice little hi-fi stack, and I happened to catch the brand there. Yep. And I never heard of the brand. It's called Vector Research was the components in there. I love 80s hi-fi equipment and all that, so I had to look them up. They're based out of Chatsworth, California. They use the same OEM manufacturer as a company called Rotel, which is a high-end amplifier company. They make amps and stuff like that, and also NAD.
And also chopped up tomatoes and onions.
I was going to say also very delicious. Yes. I enjoy some Rotel.
That's right. They do make those little canned tomatoes and all that stuff. Yeah,
that's right.
So that was like a short-lived company. They manufactured in the 80s and the early 90s. And then
But he was playing it like it was pimp mode. Like he liked that system. They even gave it a full full screen.
They did, and that was the significance. Like, that's when he put on the slow jam mixtape.
Right.
Yeah.
When he was getting it on with Amy.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite Ferris Bueller level hi-fi or American Psycho. Had a nice little setup.
No.
And what was the other one? The Departed, which I always talk about. Probably the most expensive system you'll see. But I thought that was cool. I also wanted to ask you, Matt, because I don't know if you dig them, but you drive one. So what'd you think of his Jeep? That classic
That
Jeep?
was very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I was actually, as I get older, I'm looking for one to maybe try to, I mean, I don't have the garage space right now, but
just leave the top off all the time.
or just one to try to like fix up a little bit when the kid gets older, and then he can have one to ride around in. But that was a very classic Jeep. Liked it.
What'd you think of the Mustang?
I thought the Mustang could have used a paint job.
Well, see, that was terrible. Like the Mustang, like what did somebody say? Okay, like give it like a paint job to make it look. It was a paint job. Like it wasn't like an old.
They slapped a terrible look of primer on it just to make it look like that.
Right.
But interestingly enough, so this movie was 85. That car was less than 20 years old
at that time.
That time. Nowadays, that car would go for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's what's insane.
Back in the day, that car was a piece of shit. When this movie was made, when you think about it, okay, just go back from now. What car 19 years ago is worth fuck all? Again, versus like a Mustang. Just for him, that was just some old beater.
Right. I always think that's cool in those 80s movies. They have those muscle cars from the 60s, and I'm thinking, that, like you said, then it dawns on me, that wasn't that long ago. That would be like,
Well, that's what my dad said too when he came back from when he was overseas. I guess he bought like a 70 Roadrunner. And he said it was the one with like the big back or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, why didn't I hold on to that? Because nobody, I'm going to trade that in and get like a whatever car they got.
Right.
Like a Pontiac or something like that, like Pontiac GT.
Well, us as a podcast are about to invest in a vintage piece of equipment that could definitely be worth some money someday.
Could be.
More details coming for sure.
Stay tuned and watch the videos.
Real quick, since we're on a vintage,
it's never real quick.
Well, no. Since we're on a vintage cinema type thing, right? This isn't exactly. This is a newer movie. I'm not sure what the date was, but I seen one of the coolest movies I think I've seen in 10, 15 years.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It was called Ping Pong Summer.
Okay.
Now, if anybody out there that was born in the 70s, please do me a favor and get your kids and watch this movie.
Ping Pong Summer. Check it out.
It's like it has stuff from when we were growing up. Like the kid's in it. He's into like 80s rap. Always carries around a boombox. Like he likes doing like the rap moves. But he's in the beginning scene. He's there with like I Survived the Super Duper Looper shirt.
Oh shit, PA.
Yeah, and his family goes to like the shore in Ocean City every year. But it shows like what a kid at the age of like 13, going into or freshman in high school, like the stuff that you would do. And they go through Ocean City. And if you've ever been there, it has like the beer store with those things that are moving. Right. This is all stuff from the 80s. It has like the putt-putt golf place. And it's just like he's into music. He's meeting like... It's like this girl's, she's like hooked on like slushies, like brain freezes with like pop rocks. The guy's like, man, she's a druggie. Like she's does pop rock. It's a great. So
it's a new movie that's vintage, basically.
Yeah, like Susan Sarandon's in it. That's why Sarandon popped up, and I was thinking about it. And who's the girl? What the heck's her name? She won an Academy, or she was up for an Academy Award. She was in
Hateful Eight.
Yeah, that girl.
What's that girl?
Leah. She was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes. Leah Thompson,
no,
right?
Not Leah Thompson.
No.
It's all right.
I'll think of it, but I have to check that out because I like movies where.
But anyway, I mean, like the Fat Boys soundtrack in it, they got like Run DMC. They got like this '80s music that is just. It takes you back to when you were a kid. It is. I think Ping Pong Summer. If you're out there born in the '70s, you got to see this movie.
Check it out. I guess it's that time that we will now rate this movie. So we have late fee, return, or burn. So Matt, since it's your movie, you want to start it off?
Okay. I'm sticking with pretty much the theme I go here. I would return it, probably watch it, once at night. Some friends, or if like, I'm home, my dad would probably watch or something like that. The next morning, probably watch it again, or like call some friends and be like, dude, you got to check this movie out.
Right.
Like great special effects.
Awesome.
I wouldn't burn it, but I would return it after watching it once.
That's like for me to poop on.
One and done on that?
Yeah, I'm one and done. I haven't seen this movie in 30 years, and it could be 30 more years until I see it again.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would return it as well, but it was cool to watch again. Like I said, I confused it with another movie, so it was kind of new to me. I only remembered certain parts, so I enjoyed it. Thanks for the recommendation.
I think of an 80s classic horror movie. I think it's up there as something they can base other horror movies off of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up will be my choice, and I'm picking Friday the 13th from the original one.
The original.
I believe it was 1980.
Yep.
It was between that and Creepshow, which oddly enough, I'm kind of confused with this, but we'll be back with that on the next Vintage Cinema Review. Don't forget to rate and review our show on Spotify, Apple. You can leave us a written review, and that really helps us out. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll get you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.